Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. This week, it's Batmania all week long. I will be reviewing Bat-themed items from the new film, The Flash, from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line. I've got, oh nice, got a little cut up here. This guy came from Amazon. Everything except for the Batwing came from Amazon. Well, and one other thing that I've got that I'll show you in just a minute here. But I just, I love Batman 1989. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I had to get this stuff as soon as I possibly could, which some of it did not come as soon as it did for others, but that's okay because I've got it all here now, and we will be celebrating this version of Michael Keaton's Batman all week long. So keep checking in. This is kind of the standard. It's not 1989 Batman. It is the Flash Batman, which is a very different thing, as we'll see. But this art is interesting. You know what? I think it's really the color and stuff, or the way the color is done, that looks weird to me. Just the line art is okay. I don't know. It's an odd choice. Nothing else from the line is featured here on the box. It's your typical McFarlane box, which first thing that jumped out to me is just how much space there is right here. And I know they put a multitude of different sizes of figures in these boxes, so the wasted space is just the design. But anyway, it's a dull box. It's fine. It's just not very exciting. I've already spent too long talking about it, when we want to get to the figure inside, which is displayed fairly nicely in the box. As I've said in other reviews, I'm not the biggest fan of McFarlane's figures. I buy them here and there. It's safe to say I would be much happier if somebody else was doing DC figures in a more common scale with different articulation and sculpting and basically everything else. I'm just not a huge fan of McFarlane's DC figures. It's not that I think they're bad. Oh, look, it's a card with that still somewhat odd art on it. Do they have a credit? There might be spoilers on this. Don't look too closely. No credit for the artist. You get your stand that comes with every DC Multiverse figure, regardless of the size or girth. And then we've got the figure itself with silver Batarang and grapnel gun, which is a little weird. Odd choice to make there. Who knows what they look like in the movie? I haven't looked up any. To me, it was kind of pointless to look up like any resources for the movie. Obviously, I've got this always near the toy review table, but this is not that Batman. This is a different suit, this is a different movie, so it wouldn't be fair to compare that to this. Man, it's got a lot of those stupid plastic tabs in here, but look at that nice, well, look at that soft goods cape. We'll determine its quality in a little bit here. Although it seems to drape fairly nicely. Like I like for the scale, the material seems pretty good. Definitely one of the issues with, if you watched my review of the Mezco 112 Batman, one of the issues was that cape and it just being so heavy. They wanted to get the right look of that. I think the original cape was gabardine with like a sort of latex coating or something on it. They wanted that look, and they got it. But unfortunately, the functionality is a little questionable. Go back and watch that 112 Batman review if you haven't checked it out. It's a fascinating figure and one of the more challenging reviews I've ever done. And I've done a couple. Okay, figure feels very cheap. Does not have a particularly pleasant plastic feel at all. And I'm not saying it doesn't feel sturdy. It just feels I don't know, cheap. I am loving the textures on this, though. If you take a look, like it's very light for what it is, and maybe that doesn't matter so much as long as it looks right. So I don't love this. I've got, if you can see right here, there's some of the finish of the plastic is missing a little bit. But I really like the different textures here, because you can see some of the suit is very glossy and some of it has a different texture to kind of make it stand out a little bit. I do like this suit design. It looks cool. Bat symbol's crooked, so that is infuriating right off the bat, to the point where I might actually return this. Like, that's terrible. I mean, just straight up crooked bat symbol. Yeah, I believe this is going to go back. Because, like, out of all the things that could... like, this is not great, but I can overlook it because on the shelf, like, that... even holding it this distance from my face, which is about 1.5 feet from my face right now, maybe 2 feet, I can't even really see that. That I could live with, but crooked bat symbol I cannot live with. He's got a variation on the design of the original 1989 bat suit that I think looks pretty cool. You know, I never totally understood the Kermit the Frog collar of design of the original bat suit. It's fine, and we're used to it now, but it was always a little weird to me. So the soft goods cape, I want to see how much of that sort of draped over the shoulders look we can get, and it does move around a little bit. You can sort of move it and position it so you can get a little bit of the draped over the shoulders look, and then also kind of fold it up under the Kermit collar to get, you know, that look. Articulation wise, I think it's pretty much the same as any other McFarlane figure. It's got those weird shoulder cups that do give you a good range of motion. He's got plates. If you can see, there's a soft plastic plate on his shoulder that is affixed, so he can't get... oh, wait, maybe he can. Yeah, you can get a pretty decent, you know, he's not going to be doing the full furled bat effect. And I mean, you could do it this way, I suppose. But you can see those shoulder pads actually do go over those cup pieces. So you do have some movement there. I think if I played with this a little bit more, it might... see, it's glued. Maybe it's just glued higher. There we go. Okay, so you can see that pulls away. It's not affixed there, so that can actually slide over that cup part and move up a little bit more. It seems like I've actually got some adhesion where it's pegged. Yeah, this one is not affixed as high up, so it gets... you actually have that little bit more range. Not terrible though. And then, as far as everything else, he's got, you know, fantastic abdominal joints. I am a huge fan of using these sort of ball joints here rather than cut joints. I think that looks great. I don't care for the decision of I think it's supposed to be more of a gunmetal utility belt. I wish it was the traditional yellow we're used to. I think it just breaks the figure up, makes it more interesting, makes the design look better. He's got that rubber piece that McFarlane kind of took from NECA. I'd say took from NECA. That's not fair. It's just a design choice, but NECA was doing it for years. It's not bad. It looks fine to me. I know a lot of people don't care for this piece, but I don't know. What are you going to do? I think it's fine. Double jointed knees that work fairly well. I do like that the pins on this figure are flush with the contours, so they're not... yes, they're very large and noticeable, but they're not leaving giant holes in the leg. His boots are bizarre because they have some kind of wash on them. I don't know if that's supposed to make them look metallic or dirty or what's happening. The sculpt is fantastic. And his ankles are actually, they're not the weird ball ankles that older McFarlane figures have. I still wish that he would just adopt the ankles everybody else is using now instead of putting this extra hinge in here. But they look better than a lot of McFarlane. Like when they're static, they're pretty good. Like they've definitely improved a lot on that joint since he started making DC figures. And you've got a huge range of motion with these. Like, you can do full turns like that. Do some kind of crazy stuff. The joint ends up looking not great, but you don't have to put it in that pose if you don't want to. The gloss is pretty decent on the figure. The portrait is Keatonish, I would say. It's not the best Keaton you're going to get, but for $20, it's not bad. The cowl is definitely, I think, a little more Batman Returns-y, but looks good. The ears are, of course, soft. Oh, sorry. Focus is driving me crazy lately. The ears are softer plastic, but I stand up straight enough. And the eyes, honestly, I can hardly even see the detail of the eyes. It looks like the right one is like painted a little weird. The left one is looking straight into the camera. The right one, there's, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So, I gotta say, for a McFarlane product that I'm not inclined to particularly love, I think it's pretty good. It has a couple of interchangeable hands. You've got fists. I don't know how well. Oh, nice. Okay. So those actually work. Oh, very nicely. Okay. And then you've got the same sort of involved hinge that you have on the ankles. Works really well, though. And again, is a little more streamlined than they were when this line first started. Overall, the profile on these figures has vastly improved from the first ones that I bought. He's got the gauntlets. Look, they kind of match the shin guards a little bit. It's a different look from the original suit, but I think that's fine. This is an evolution. This is not meant to be 1989 Batman. So yeah, this one crooked bat symbol. Got to go back. I just can't tolerate that. It's crazy crooked. I don't know to your eye, but to my eye, it's awful. And then finally, we've got a Batarang that is for some reason silver, but is very close to the original 1989 Batarang. And then the grapnel gun that basically is the 1989 grapnel gun. Looks really good. He doesn't have anywhere to affix these things on his person, but that's okay. I'm not while I love that, I'm not necessarily a stickler for that. And then of course the hand is posed to interact with that. So there you go. There is the standard issue Michael Keaton Batman. I don't know how he'll be referenced. It's literally on the packaging here. He is just Batman Multiverse. And then also, since we're here, we'll go ahead and take a look at the unmasked version of this Batman. So let's set this fellow aside. And just real quick, I mean, it's the same figure except for the head. I honestly shouldn't even open it, but whatever. I like having a lot of Batman standing around. Interesting that he has different art on the back, but is not unmasked. I'm not going to bother with, because they wanted to do a different trading card. All right. I'm not going to bother with the stand and the card. Oh, geez. And all these stupid tabs. Well, let's just take a look. Well, first of all, his bat symbol is not crooked, so that's nice. Yeah, we got to get him out of there because I want to see that portrait. That's the main thing. And you're not going to be able to get a good look at it without getting the figure out of this plastic. I will say this, the little plastic tabby things that McFarlane uses are much stretchier than some of the other companies, so it's way easier to cut them and get access to the figure than it is with some of these other ones. So that's a nice thing. I realize I'm a little down on McFarlane when I do these interviews. It's personal preference. I don't think they're making bad products. I'm not a big fan of having to buy 2 figures to get an unmasked version. I think that's a little scummy. But at the same time, you got to consider the fact that they're putting these figures out for $20 still. Now, I don't know how much longer that'll last, but, you know, something you got to consider. Okay, so obviously that's just, oh, it's not. So this is, the first thing I want to address is this. I actually like this design right here, where this goes around his neck, clips down to hold the cape in place. Like they put some thought into the design of the costume. So I kind of dig that. And this is a whole different piece because, as you can see, the neck, like everything from the shoulders down is the same, which is fine. Although, what would have been cool is if instead of the alternate hands on this one being those, if he had come with some ungloved hands, that would have actually been really cool. And it could have worked because these are gauntlet pieces. Like these are separate pieces. I'm noticing on this one that some of the deco didn't quite make it all the way up the shin right here. Not a huge deal. But really what we're concerned with on this one, since it is unmasked, is, let's get him back out of the way, is that portrait. And honestly, I think that's a great 1989, a great mass market retail 1989 Michael Keaton Batman portrait. I've actually seen online where somebody painted the hair brown and it looks tremendous. It does not look like 2023 Michael Keaton. So that's weird, but I think it's one of the better portraits McFarlane has done. It's just not appropriate for what they're trying to represent. And his hair looks a little more blondish than it does gray. But whatever the case, again, kind of just on the shelf standing there, it'll be fine. So there you go. That is the unmasked gold label Batman and the Multiverse Batman. This really stands out when they're next to each other. You're like, where is that paint? I wish that my biggest critiques, aside from the crooked bat symbol, I don't care for this wash on the boots. It just doesn't look good. I don't understand what is it just filth? Like, what is this? I don't care for it. But other than that, I mean, for $20, they're pretty good figures. It would have been nice to get one figure that had, this piece and this piece interchangeable, but that's just not how McFarlane does things as of now. So there you go. Oh, wait, let's try this shoulder. See, his shoulder works. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It pops right back in. It's designed to. I say pops right back in. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it pops right back in. We're fine. And it's sturdy. It's not like that's not an issue. So there you go. A couple of Batmans to start off the week. I have got the Batcycle, the Batmobile, and the Batwing coming. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things. And remember, I'm Batman.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.